All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Gratitude. My name is Christian, and this is the Let's Talk Wrestling portion of Let's Talk Gratitude, where either on Saturdays or Mondays I talk about Friday Night Smackdown, and definitely on Tuesdays I talk about Monday Night Raw. Massive, massive, massive show on Friday Night Smackdown tonight. So let's just start with the biggest stuff first. Three Mania matches set up tonight. So let's start with the obviously biggest of the three matches. Roman Reigns versus The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, finally confirmed to main event WrestleMania. Let's start there with this entire main event segment. Roman Reigns comes out first, tells Alabama to acknowledge him, and then essentially buries poor Seth Rollins. And part of me wishes Seth was there, because you can't dog my boy like that and Seth not be there to get his get back. That's just rude. Calls Seth his little brother. Says, how can you call yourself the man when you're running around in your wife's clothes? Mocks his injuries. Says in first 3 months of trying to carry that company, you broke your back. Then starts limping around and says, this is how a workhorse walks? And then just big boys him with the cash. Asks the crowd, what kind of money would you rather be making? Seth Rollins money or Roman Reigns money? Now, if you ask me, I'll take either. I'll take Seth Rollins money. But, obviously, if you're picking the Tribal Chief money. Duh. So Roman Reigns just a heel making good points. But this brings out Cody Rhodes. Roman, before Cody Rhodes comes out, says, Cody, I'm not going to beg you like the other guy. You have a choice to make. You can either be the best second man, or you can be the best second guy in the company, or you can take another crack at the number one title. This brings out Cody Rhodes, who attempts, and I stress the word attempts, to recontextualize for the fans what finishing the story should actually mean. Which is interesting that we should say recontextualize, right? It's his story, but we've kind of taken it from him and assumed what it should mean. Cody says that finishing the story isn't just about winning the title, winning Roman Reigns' WWE Championship from him, but actually taking everything from Roman. And he references a promo that Roman did way back when. I think it was either against Jey Uso or Drew McIntyre. I can't remember which one in particular, but where Roman Reigns points at the camera, points at the commentary, points at all the fans, and says, the cameraman, my cameraman. That commentary booth, my commentary booth. These fans, my fans. He takes ownership of everything. And Cody Rhodes is basically saying, finishing the story means me taking everything you own. And I think it's also a reference to his banger of a press conference promo he did after the Royal Rumble, where he's telling everybody, I'm the guy, I'm the I can be the quarterback and be the face of this company. So I think that's what he's talking about when he's saying, this is finishing the story. Me being the guy, not just holding the championship, but me pushing the business forward. Which is fair. I think it's a fair recontextualization, and if we accept that, I think it's perfectly fine and absolutely works as a story. However, for me, and this is just me, I don't buy it because I don't believe Cody buys it either. And it's for the same reason. It's because of that Royal Rumble press conference promo he dropped. You can't, and here's what happens, right? He says, I'm gonna go after your title. I'm gonna go after everything, Roman, but not at WrestleMania. All right, so pushing it down the road. And after he says this, if you smell that CM Punk was right again, when CM Punk told Cody Rhodes that a much bigger star Who's that in the distance? A much bigger star that hasn't been here for a long time coming to take your spot at WrestleMania. The Rock comes out. We get a stare down between Roman Reigns, and only a stare down. No words exchanged, just them looking at each other, which is all you really need between these two gentlemen. The crowd goes absolutely nuts. And that's the end of the show. But you can't drop that for Cody. You can't drop that Royal Rumble press conference promo and then go, yeah, but I'm going to give my spot this year to this other guy and go after Seth Rollins' title, even though I know and all these other fans know that that's the thing I want. What you have, Roman. So for me personally, I don't truly buy it. Now, Cody can make me buy it because he's great. And really, here's the thing, and there was a really interesting comment on one of the posts that WWE put up of Roman and The Rock in the ring together, where the comment said that Cody got screwed, but Roman Rock is the bigger match, and please take my money now, which is absolutely the case, right? I might be disappointed that Cody Rhodes isn't going to face Roman Reigns this year. But there's no doubt that Roman Reigns versus The Rock is the match, is the much bigger match. The main event of night 2, the main event of the entire weekend is going to be Roman Reigns versus The Rock. And I mean, the reaction just tonight of them staring down sold it all. I mean, we got Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns in the ring together, but the reaction of the fans when The Rock and Roman Reigns were in the ring together was a whole different level. It was a whole different deal. Because The Rock is a whole different deal. I mean, think about the timeline that we live in, that we get a second cross-generational mega match, right? The first one was Cena versus Rock, and now we get Roman versus The Rock. You know? I mean, it's a ridiculous timeline that we get to live in. But, you know, I can be disappointed and still recognize that, hey, this Rock and Roman thing is going to be super interesting. I think it's going to be a really good story. I think The Rock has obviously been wanting to do this for a really long time. Since, WrestleMania 38, that they tried to get it, tried to do it, but couldn't make it work. So obviously The Rock's been wanting to do this for a while, been setting it up for a while. Roman, I think, is absolutely ready for this moment. He's been ready for this. And the fact that he's been champ for almost 4 years, I think only elevates Roman to an even higher level where him and Rock are kind of on the same level now, if you really think about it. So, you know, Cody Rhodes at some point is going to get that spot. I mean, Triple H himself in that press conference at the Royal Rumble said that Cody was the guy. So obviously, Cody Rhodes is going to finish the story, is going to be the guy who pushes forward the business. It's just not going to be right now. And for me, I would keep an eye on Big Four pay-per-views that might end up in Madison Square Garden. You know, let's keep an eye on where WrestleMania is next year. If it's in New York, guess what? The main event of WrestleMania next year has already been decided. But so 2 matches in 1 segment for WrestleMania set up. The first, obviously, Roman Reigns versus The Rock set up. And the second one, by de facto, Cody Rhodes and I guess you could say whoever ends up holding the World Heavyweight Championship going into Mania, assumedly right now, Seth Rollins. But that could change. More people could get out of that match. But that's the second match being set up. I'll tell you the second reason, or another reason why I wanted Cody to win or to go to WrestleMania against Roman Reigns, and it's because I'm kind of getting tired of the forever champions. You know, I'm kind of getting tired of, you know, I mean, let's look at all the champions we have now. Roman Reigns obviously holds the title for 1,200 plus days. Gunther's held the title for 600 days, and Gunther, by the way, of all of them, like has the most memorable matches. Rhea Ripley's held that title since last Mania. What's been her last memorable match? Zelina Vega at Backlash. I mean, like honestly, what was her last um, memorable, like actually memorable match? It's probably the one at Backlash against Zelina. Um, so her reign hasn't been like all that impressive. Io won the title when SummerSlam, cashing in her Money in the Bank, and hasn't really as a champ hasn't really done much for me. But speaking of Io, in her title reign, we get a third match set up for tonight that I'm actually super excited for, because in being tired of all these forever champions, I'm ready to see some new faces win some championships, and we got a new baby face tonight with Bayley choosing Io. Now this was a fun segment that Bayley that led to Bayley choosing Io. Bayley comes out with most of Damage Control. Just the Japanese ladies, Io, Asuka, and Kairi come out with her. Don't know where Dakota is, but three of the four snakes come out with Bayley. Interesting segment backstage before Bayley's promo was Damage Control getting in their own way, stepping all over their own snake tails. Io is joking it up, yucking it up with Asuka and Kairi in the locker room, and mistakenly says out loud, "Don't worry about Bayley. She's done tonight." And who's listening in the next room with an open door? Bayley, obviously, right? So we thought this was going to happen. Damage Control getting in their own way, and here they are getting in their own way again. So Bayley and Damage Control walk out. Bayley talks about Rhea Ripley at first, says she hypes herself up, and the interesting part about all this entire thing is while Bayley's hyping herself up, mentioning Rhea Ripley, that the three just chuckle snakes are just yucking it up, laughing, chortling, chuckling at everything Bayley says, in an obviously mocking tone. And Io's the worst offender of this. Every time she did it, it was the most frustrating thing. Like, I felt bullied by Io Shirai. Or Io Sky, sorry. But Bayley is obviously picking up there, laughing at her behind her back. She's watching them, and they're doing "oh, we're not doing anything, please continue," that goofiness. And Bayley finally has enough of it and says, "Or I can pick instead of picking Rhea Ripley, I can pick someone else." You know, she says that sometimes you need to face your friends in order to prove that they're wrong. Looks straight dead in the eye of Io, Asuka, and Kairi, and starts speaking Japanese to them, signaling that she has understood everything that they've been saying up to now about her, saying that she says, "I've heard you guys making fun of me, talking behind my back, stabbing me in the back this entire time. You talk down to me. You don't think I can do this. You don't think I'm on your level." And personally, I would have loved to hear Bayley just say the absolute truth. Point at Kairi. Point at Io. Say, "I've done more than you, Io. I've done more than you, Kairi." And point at Asuka and say, "I've done even more than you, Asuka." Because it'd be true. Because Bayley's done literally everything at this point, except when she won the Royal Rumble, and now the last thing she has to do is go to the WrestleMania as a Royal Rumble winner and win a championship, which, in my opinion, she's going to do. At least she should do. But so she calls them out, talks Japanese, looks at Io, and just reminds us all of why, for all her time in NXT, for all her time, for the most part, up until the end of her babyface run on the main roster, she was one of the most over baby faces in the entire company. Because she just sells she sells hurt and conviction and like questioning why you're betraying me better than anyone, even Sami Zayn. Um, the crowd, while I was watching, I felt every word that she said. She's just the absolute best as a babyface, and I'm glad that she's back to this role. Damage control, Asuka and Kairi attack her from behind, start to beat her up. She grabs a steel pipe from behind the steel steps, proving that she's just smarter, just on a different playing field than these jokers. Hits Kairi and Asuka with the steel pipe, getting them out of the ring. Her and Io kind of face off, holding up either the championship belt and the steel pipe. Bayley doesn't hit her. Io rolls out. Bayley picks up the mic, says, Io, I'll see you at WrestleMania. There's your third setup match for WrestleMania. Absolute banger. Love that Bayley is a babyface. It's fun watching just the snakes trip over their own tails, get in their own way, and finally get some of their comeuppance. So those are the three biggest things that happened tonight. Let's look at the rest of the show because it was a good show overall. And mention that I wish Seth Rollins was here, or wishing that The Rock and Roman Reigns cut a promo. For that extra stuff to happen, you'd have had to cut some other stuff, and there's not much like on the show overall that I would have wanted to cut. Maybe one thing, but even if you'd have cut it, it wouldn't have made up enough time. So let's look at the beginning of the match, or beginning of the show. We get a recap of the Royal Rumble. We get another small thing within the recap of the Rumble that I don't think is actually a small thing. It's a big thing for TNA. Jordynne Grace, both on Raw and SmackDown tonight, gets a shout out for being in the Royal Rumble. TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace being in the Rumble. I don't think that's a small thing. I think that's huge for both TNA and Jordynne Grace, that on Raw and SmackDown she's getting the shout out at the beginning of the show. That's pretty cool. So happy for her. But first segment of the show, we get a Logan Paul promo. He brags about winning at the at Royal Rumble. Says he outsmarted Kevin Owens, but does give Kevin Owens props for being better than he originally thought. He makes fun of CM Punk and Seth Rollins' injuries, calling them brittle. And then he calls himself unbreakable and durable. This brings out Kevin Owens. Kevin says he doesn't need the brass knuckles to beat up Logan Paul. Says he wants another shot at the U.S. title. Logan Paul says you're never getting another shot. You lost. And tells Kevin Owens you should probably worry more about your match with Austin Theory. And Logan Paul then goes on to commentary. Austin Theory comes out, and we get our first match of the night. Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory. Hot match. Hot first match. It was a really, really good match. Kevin Owens, one of the very, very best at making a crowd believe in him. Austin Theory, really, really talented in the ring. And these two guys just blend together really, really well. Finish of the match, Logan Paul. Grayson Waller first distracts the ref. Logan Paul passes the brass knuckles to Austin Theory. Austin Theory goes to punch Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens blocks it, takes the brass knuckles. Logan Paul then gets on the apron to distract the ref. While the ref's distracted, Kevin Owens knocks out both Grayson Waller, who's on the apron, knocks him out, and then knocks out Austin Theory. This time hiding the brass knuckles in his, I believe his knee pad or his boot. I don't remember which one he put it in. Somewhere down in the knee to shin area. Gets the 1, 2, 3, and then runs off Logan Paul into the crowd. Gets on one of the equipment boxes and proudly screams, "This is my show." And that's the end of that match. Really good match, hot match, good opener. Next, some new signing alerts to the Friday Night Smackdown brand. We get 2. Naomi first walks out to the applause of Michin, Shotzi, and Bianca Belair. So happy for Naomi back on SmackDown. But the one that excited me the most personally, Tiffany Stratton, finally on the main roster. Hallelujah, amen. Tiffany walks out, asks where her applause are, then squares up, says she's not afraid to, squares up with Bianca Belair, says she's not afraid to go against the best, and then just cold cock slaps the crap out of Michin. Challenge, and then Michin asks Nick Aldis for a match with Tiffany Stratton tonight, and that is going to be our main event for tonight's show. Next match, we had let's cover the rest of the signings. Well, there weren't signings officially, but Braun Breaker also had a meeting with Nick Aldis. Unfortunately, Adam Pearce went and made that all complicated, so Braun Breaker is going to be on Raw on Monday, and we'll see where Braun Breaker ends up signing. He is officially on the main roster, just don't know where yet. Other person who had a sighting on SmackDown, Jade Cargill. I keep calling her Cargill. It's just Cargill. Jade had a meeting with Nick Aldis, unsure where she's going to sign yet. She was wearing all blue, so maybe that's a good sign for old Nick Aldis, but who knows? That's all the signings for tonight. Signing spree on both shows. We had Andrade on Monday, and now we have, what's that? We had 2 official signings and 2 potential signings. So big old signing spree for the 2 shows. Next match we had a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match to determine who is going to be in the finals for this tag team tournament to face the Judgment Day for those tag team championships. But on SmackDown, the Fatal 4-Way consisted of Pretty Deadly, LWO, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, and Legado del Fantasma, it's Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. But before the match, we got Pretty Deadly's entrance first, and then went to break, came back, and got a vignette for Legado del Fantasma. And I'll be honest, it was a bit of an odd placement. I'm not sure I liked the placement of this vignette right, like in the middle of the entrances. You know, they come back from commercial break, we get the vignette, and then right as the vignette ends, it's Humberto and Angel Garza on the ring apron with Elektra Lopez finishing up their entrance. I mean, I kind of get it, right? We don't need to waste time watching the entrance. We know what it is. So we get this little vignette, but I don't know that, in the long run, I love that idea. So, but we'll see. I mean, maybe they can, as long as I guess the vignettes are good, then it really doesn't matter. This match in particular, though, chaotic. Stuff, in a good way. Stuff happening every second of the match. No slowdown. Tag team moves all over the place. We get big splash spot from Joaquin Wilde. He did his standing on the middle rope, and his partners launch him real far with a splash on all the opponents. So that was fun. Finish of the match, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate hit their double Tiger Driver on Kit Wilson to get the 1-2-3. So they are in the finals. We're going to have another Fatal 4-Way tag team match on Raw Monday, and the winner of that one will face Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate to see who will be the number 1 contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championships. So good match, chaotic match, lots of fun, a lot of stuff happening. Next was the Damage Control segment, which we already talked about. So we'll skip that. After the Damage Control stuff, we had Final Testament, or what was supposed to be Final Testament versus Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. This was supposed to be a match, didn't end up being a match, ended up just being a straight up brawl. Ref never rang the bell. All the competitors rush into the ring. AOP and Street Profits spill to the outside. They kind of knock each other out. Uh, uh, Bobby Lashley gets the advantage on Karrion Kross. Scarlett tries to hop on Bobby Lashley's back to rake the eyes. Someone runs in. A lady runs in to get the save on Bobby Lashley. B-Fab, now officially a part of Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits group. So good. So now all sides are even. Kind of. One side still has Paul Ellering and one side doesn't. It would be cool if MVP left almost to go back to Bobby Lashley, but hey, that's just me. So this would be at the beginning of this, I said we could have cut one of these matches. This would have been the one you could have cut, but even if you cut it, it's not enough time to make up for like bringing a Seth Rollins in or having a appropriate promo battle between The Rock and Roman Reigns. So it's fine as is. After this though, the main event, Tiffany Stratton versus Michin. Big moment for Tiffany Stratton. First official night on SmackDown, and she gets the main event spot. Not only does she get the main event spot, gets the W against Michin with the prettiest moonsault ever. Her Alabama Slam though, where she does like a cartwheel with cartwheel first and then lifts up her opponent for the Alabama Slam. Gold. Love that. Love Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown. She's on Monday Night Raw at all, or not Monday Night Raw, SmackDown at all, main roster at all. She's ready for it. Her and Braun Breaker both ready for the main roster. They've been ready for a while. So happy she's on there. Happy she got the W on her first night. Michin, on the other hand, and this goes for the rest of the OC, rest of the club. Can we please get something for these three to do? Something meaningful for these three to do. That isn't just AJ Styles. So, but anyway, after that was the Cody Rhodes decision, which of course we talked about this end of the night. Best favorite part of the night, of course, was the Cody Rhodes stuff. Anytime The Rock comes back, it's a big deal. And the crowd lets you know that, just by the way that they responded to The Rock. When I said CM Punk was right again, he was right. A much bigger star, much bigger than you, and Punk wasn't wrong. The Rock is bigger than him, both literally physically bigger than him and as a star. So it's no shame. No shame to lose your spot to The Rock. And, there was an interesting moment between The Rock and Cody Rhodes that I do want to mention. When The Rock got in the ring with Cody, they shook hands. The Rock said something to Cody Rhodes, where the camera couldn't see, obviously. And if the vibe it gave me, obviously I don't know, they could have just been saying jokes to each other, who knows. But the vibe it gave me was like The Rock essentially saying, one day this is going to be all yours. You're going to be the guy that runs this place, but just not this year. And if that upsets you, the real thing you should be mad about is that they didn't have this Roman Rock match in WrestleMania 38 or 37, whichever one it was supposed to happen at way back when. Because if that match happened back then we get the Cody Rhodes moment this year. That happens this year if we get that match way back when. Unfortunately, couldn't work it out, and that's just how the cookie crumbles at some point. But hey, look, like I said, you can be disappointed, that's fine. Just recognize that the ride's still going to be really good. Without that Cody Rhodes Roman match this year, it'll be fine, because you get Rock Roman, and that's a generational match. That's a dream match. That's a legitimate dream match. So can only be so upset for so long. I'm disappointed, but I think we're going to make do. Take my money for that Rock Roman match. And look, the Cody Rhodes, the World Heavyweight Championship match could very well be a multi-man match. I mean, like, it could end up being Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, and take my money for that too, please. Yes, yesterday, please. You can have it now. You can have it yesterday. You can have it whenever. But WrestleMania is going to be massive. It's going to be fun, and just enjoy the ride because it's going to be a good one. Great show, massive show. A lot happened. If you stuck around for this entire thing, I really appreciate it. If this is your first time, welcome. Thank you for your view. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, help this channel grow. Hit the notify bell so you don't miss any new content. I uploaded a video yesterday of me creating my first D&D dungeon. If you want to see that, it's probably up here in one of the boxes. Make sure you check that out. I'd really appreciate it. I really like how all that came out. But leave a comment down below. What did you think of the show? What is your opinion? Were you a Cody Roman person, or are you perfectly fine with Rock Roman? Leave that in the comments below. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.